Good evening and welcome to the Wednesday, August 13th, 2025 Planning Board meeting for the Town of Raymond. The board will come to order. The board does have a quorum. We'll start with roll call. Jackie?
Jackie Sawyer.
Stephen Clark.
Greg Foster.
Robert O'Neill.
Ed Kranich.
Mark Childs.
Kevin Woodbury.
This is a public proceeding, and unless the board specifically votes to go into executive session, you have the right to hear everything that is being said and to look at all the exhibits that are presented. Please notify the chair if you are unable to see or hear. The board works from the published agenda and will be considering tonight's items in the following order. We have the approval of the minutes of the July 9th meeting. We have a review of the latest draft for the short-term rental ordinance, a review of the latest draft of the marijuana regulation ordinance, and a preliminary subdivision review for Brandon Chase's subdivision, Pine Ridge, followed by staff communications and the updates and adjournments. In each instance, the burden is upon the applicant to demonstrate compliance with the provisions of the applicable ordinances or state law. All persons speaking, including representatives of the applicant and members of the public, are asked to stand at the microphone, state their name, address, and affiliation with the application. All persons speaking shall address the chair. Any conversations must be held in abeyance until after the board has formally adjourned. After the board votes on the merits of each application, it will prepare a written notice of decision, because the notice of decision may substantially affect any appeals rights. And also, as a matter of courtesy, the board asks that those attending the meeting with regard to a specific application not leave until the board has completed its discussion. Appeals from adverse decisions must be filed with the Superior Court or as otherwise provided by law within 45 days of this board's decision. Also, to be certain that you preserve your individual rights to file any such appeal, you must be certain that the board records evidence of your appearance this evening. All right. The first order of business is the minutes for July 9th. Oops, sorry, Ed.
Move to approve those minutes.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Everybody happy? All those in favor? Minutes?
Aye.
Passed. 7-0. Okay, next up, we do the short-term rental ordinance next. But depending upon where we go with that, I may, just for in the audience here, I may stop that discussion to get the applicant out of the way for the preliminary subdivision review in case the short-term rental goes for an extended period of time. And for the board, actually the questions I have for the board to start with. I've gone back to the April 10th selectmen meeting, watched that short-term rental presentation, and then all of our meetings that discuss the short-term rentals up to tonight. And I've learned two things. The first thing I've learned is that our planning board meetings are really boring. Jesus. I don't know how you guys do it, but I did try to put things into three categories. And my first category that we seem to kind of agree upon is and I kind of just, these are just my kind of rough names, is the family camp, the vacation home that is rented out on occasion during either the summer or the winter. But it's basically a second home used as a vacation property. The second category that I found that our comments seem to fall into is the individuals that rent their home, but it is their primary residence, and they rent that for taxes, new roof, minimal expenses during the course of the year. The third category then would be the investment property, those that I think that many have referred to as businesses that operate for profit. So those three categories. And actually it was Mr. Donahue. Was it Digger Donahue? You here this evening? Digger sent a kind of an email in, and basically, he said, we're moving way away from the KISS principle, and we're digging into the weeds. So I asked our attorney if he would look at those three categories and what we could do within those categories. And basically, the answer is that whatever we do to category 3, that's the investment property, is going to automatically fall upon the family camp, the vacation camp. It's not possible to separate out those two. From my notes, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but there did not seem to be a lot of discussion or desires to start regulating the family camp, the non-winterized or the traditional family camp. The second group, then, that primary residents, there did not seem to be a lot of individuals that were interested in saying you couldn't rent out your property for a week or two to pay the taxes, to put the new roof on, or whatever. The third group, then, is the for-profit investment, and that is where 90% of the discussion lied, and what a majority of the individuals probably that are here this evening, again, or that have talked in, wanted something to be done with. So, I started then to wonder whether or not what we are putting together is going to fill those three requirements. And obviously, we're not going to make everybody happy. But at least it would stop what I think that the board is in agreement with is limiting or maybe even stopping future short-term rentals for investment properties. Am I off base there? Is that pretty much what we've talked about? I mean,
Can you, one more time?
Sure. For the for-profit, the investment properties is what we have, what the community would like, and what we seem to be leaning towards, putting some sort of regulations in to curtail or limit or control that category of rental.
I think the letter that we got from the attorney, did it come today?
Yes. Yesterday.
Pretty much says we can't
Right.
discriminate against them separately. We have to treat them the same as everybody else.
Exactly.
Oh, I thought that said that was if out-of-state ones versus in-state, you couldn't discriminate, not that you could not cap, all of that category, just you can't go in-state versus out-of-state.
Yeah, but further defined as the constitutional ordinance that says you can't.
Right.
Yeah, I know that's what it sounded like, but it's not what he meant, or whatever. So
it's either you limit you can't just limit those companies. If you're doing that, you're limiting anybody it's not a primary resident.
Correct.
It's not your home, you're not a occupied hosted property.
right, exactly.
It's all of it.
Right. So
I think it puts an undue burden on the people that do have seasonal places.
I
here
agree.
that
yep. So here's
don't punish those people.
So my proposal tonight, and I tried to make this happen for this evening, but it didn't come together, is for the board to meet in executive session with the town's attorney and give the town attorney our ideas as what we would like to see, what is legal and what's not legal, what's enforceable and what's not enforceable, and work that in to our ordinances, instead of continuing down the path that we're going right now, and in the end wind up with something that's not going to be enforceable, it's not even legal. So that's
exactly what I'm looking for. I want clarification on what's legal and not legal, not how you differentiate, a small family camp and a business, if you want to call it like that we can't. So that's what my entire issue.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
thought.
perfect.
That's what I, that might.
Perfect. It's awesome. Yeah, whatever's legal is the right thing to do. That's right. Yeah.
So, Kevin, so what do you guys think? Is that an okay, so then what I do have in the works now, and Sandy is going to try to put this together, and Jason, to get our lawyer in, and what I'd like to do is to get it in a workshop before the next meeting, if we could do that, so that we can move this thing along. I'm kind of getting frustrated that we're not
Yes.
making any progress on this
Agreed.
thing.
Agree.
Agreed, okay. Is that, so two things. Then, one, we need a motion basically to table our short-term rental discussion until our next meeting. And then two, to invite Phil, what's Phil's last name?
Saucier.
Phil Saucier for a workshop. And then it actually would be a meeting. We'd have the meeting, we'd open the meeting, we'd go into executive session. We would have the discussions, what was legal and not legal. We would just come out of executive session, close the meeting, and then bring forth those changes at our next meeting, hopefully in a month.
Okay.
Does that sound?
Yeah, it would be the same
Mr.
evening as
Chair.
our regular meeting,
If you are-
just a half hour before it.
If that's possible, that could work too. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever we can get Phil in
Oh,
sometime before the
Yeah,
next meeting.
that's probably going to be the key.
And finding a place is also going to be, so Sandy's working on that.
Okay.
I'm not really taking public comments on this. We're still having a discussion. We had a motion. So it's not, we're not opening it up for public comments this evening.
I'd like
So-
to move that we table the short-term rental ordinance until after we meet with the town lawyer.
I second that.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
And then the second, then the plan would be that we would have, at that meeting, we'll vote to go into executive session. We'll iron it out, and then we'll report back at the next meeting. For the community, so we will get it advertised as a next meeting, if we have enough time. But executive session is closed to the public. So when you do see it, it'll be an executive session. I don't want you to come down here expecting to come into the meeting. You could come in to watch us go into executive session and then go out of executive session. But then at our next meeting, we will inform you all of what was the outcome of that executive session and the plan going forward for the short-term rental. Okay?
So you published an ordinance and we can't comment on it, and you're gonna change the whole thing?
Maybe.
Again, I just.
Yeah,
that's-
maybe.
You know, so this is gonna go to a full round of public comment again, because I have three.
We've never had a public comment on this yet. We've opened it up to public. We've never had a public hearing on this yet. There still will be a public hearing on it.
This could dramatically change, is what you're saying.
Yes. Yep. And Ms. Plummer, is that you? I asked you to send that email, and you did send the email, and I did talk to Brett about it. I just wanted to get back to you. There was things in that email that we had not discussed as the board, so I could not work it into the ordinance because we had not discussed it.
Okay.
But we do plan on discussing that at our next meeting.
In addition,
Okay.
you're taking commentary that's not publicly disclosed.
Say that again?
You're taking feedback on the ordinance, which you do not piece in the agenda and do not disclose to the town.
No. This was at the last meeting.
And this was not published like you published every other note.
That's why it's not included in the
Or
note.
no, will be published next month.
Her note is published right now. It was published whenever the day after she submitted it.
Okay? I
Yeah.
was asked to see a copy of that.
Sure. Just go, it's on the website. Just go, her email is on there with all the other emails.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Next, marijuana ordinance. There was a request from Ray Richardson to invite Mr. Malik, who is from the Office of Cannabis Policy for the state. I think his first name is Vern. He's the one that you have been talking with, right?
Occasionally, yeah.
Okay. Do we want to do that before we do anything else on the marijuana ordinance?
I like that idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I agree.
Okay, so we will need a motion.
I move that we table the marijuana ordinance until we have, till we hear from the state, what's his name?
Vern.
Vern Malley.
MALLOCH. Office of
Vern.
Cannabis Policy.
Yep.
Is there a second?
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
You get this done pretty quickly.
Right.
Like the long meeting. All right, next up is our Pine Ridge Estates. Right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So there's not a ton that has that's outstanding. I know last time we had talked about needing the hydro assessment, test pit information, like a road name application, and those have all been submitted. Although I don't know who at the town, and Jason, you might know this too, for the road name application. I know Pine and Ridge are very common names, so it's possible that the desired name may not get approved, might need to rework that a little bit. But the only outstanding items that we need at this point would be HOA documentation and then a copy of the approval from the state for the DEP. So Andy, I know you're here this evening. I don't know if you have anything else to add. And I know Wayne is online as well, so I don't know if you want to address his comments as well.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. If I can run down what's changed since the board has seen the plan, if you guys would like that.
Yes, please.
So we did, as Brett said, we did submit a hydrogeologic assessment from Mark Sensi Inc. I do have hard copies here. I'll give them to Brett if you guys would like them. We didn't submit those when we originally make our submission because they weren't done. They were just completed recently. So conclusion of the hydrogeo assessment is that the town standards are met. All the septics work as they were shown on the plans. Just some of the other minor changes that have happened to the plan since the board has seen them. We updated the net residential density calculations, note number 26 on sheet 1 to specify out all the deductions. We, as the board knows, there are 3 non-significant vernal pools on the site. We've shown those on both the subdivision plan and the existing conditions plan. Provided the septic information that Brett had referred to by Mark Hampton Associates. We added the site distance down at Raymond Cape Road for the access road. Showed that on both the plan and profile and the subdivision plans. Added some clearing limits summary to the plan, note number 27 on sheet 1. We added some fire lanes as requested by the fire chief. Provided a turning schematic showing a fire truck turning around the cul-de-sac. And just to clarify, the applicant is intending to provide sprinklers to all of the homes. Note number 19 was added to the subdivision plan to cover that item. We did receive some comments from the fire chief, pretty minor in nature. One thing he had wanted was 6 additional fire lane signs at the cul-de-sac. We're happy to provide those. We'll show those on the plan the next time we come before you guys. Other things that we have taken, other steps we've taken since we've been before you, we filed with the DEP our stormwater permit for the project. As the board knows, it's a pretty lengthy process, so that's underway. We're kind of in wait mode at this point for that permit. Our intentions would be to come back to the board once we have that permit in hand, and the applicant is working with their attorney on the HOA documents. When we come back for final subdivision, we're certainly going to come back with hopefully a DEP permit in hand and the homeowners association documents for you guys. So Mr. Chairman, I'll throw it back to you. Happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
The board, does anybody have any questions? One of the things on my notes is which I forgot to bring up last time, is I think we've done a site walk. Have we not? I know we've done
For
site
this
walks
one, we have not.
on one of them, right?
I don't think we've done this one.
We haven't done this one.
They did an initial a couple of years ago, so maybe
Yeah,
the
before it was
sidewalk then,
cleared.
Yeah,
but I don't have.
We haven't, okay.
not since.
Yeah, so the applicant had previously filed a subdivision on this piece.
Right.
A couple years ago.
That's the
There
one.
may have been a site walk done at that time.
Okay.
There's not been one
So-
on this
Yeah.
application.
I thought we were gonna. So do you guys want to do one? Are you familiar enough with it? You're probably.
I'm familiar enough.
Everybody okay? I mean, that's,
Yeah, I'm all right.
okay,
It's very similar.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
All
all
right.
the same.
Jackie,
soil.
you okay?
I'm okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, shall skip this.
Did the question of the wetland get resolved? The
Three vernal pools?
yeah, whether it's a wetland or
Oh, the
Significant.
protected wetland?
protected.
Yeah, I would look back and it just would meet the definition of the shoreland zoning wetland, which, you know, the wetland report that you submitted, they do that delineation and verify if it's actually, if it needs to be protected, if it needs to meet those setbacks or not, so. And that's what was shown on the plans and it meets that standard, so.
Good.
Everybody's happy?
Yeah, looks good.
Just the
Look at
name.
everything else.
Just a name.
Kevin?
I'm good.
Wayne?
Sorry. Yeah, so my email from last week, most of the items have been addressed. There was a few additional notes that we were looking for on the plan. Also, the fire lane language in the HOA documents. And what was already mentioned, the fire lane signs in the cul-de-sac, because it's such a tight turn for our largest apparatus. Some of the overswing would prevent us making that turn if there were cars parked up there. And then the only other thing is doing the street name and the E911 addresses for the final plan. I know we've had an application in the packet. I know that those applications generally to go to code enforcement, the fees are paid, and then the fire chief's the E911 coordinator, and he works to take care of those items, either the road name and 911 addresses to be put on the plan. And that's what I got.
All right. Well,
You-
go ahead, Jason.
Wayne, are we looking to have them do driveway permit entrances and number it that way, or just proposed numbers on the plan? We
I
usually-
know that
Go ahead.
from what I know of how the chief handles it, he does the driveway addresses application, and that kicks in him being able to assign those. I know that at this stage, we're looking at tentative driveway entrances, and he takes that into account when he makes E911 assignments for subdivision approval. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, my only reservation to listing the addresses on the plan, and I've run into this into a couple other communities, is, you know, if they say that this is 18 Pine Ridge Road on the plan, but, you know, site construction dictates otherwise, that they need to shift things around and it needs to change, then technically the plan is wrong and they would need to go back before the board to get an amended approval for that. That's my only reservation on really placing the numbers on the plan. So I think a way around that, we could say tentative street numbers, if that's what you're looking for, Wayne.
I don't think we've ever placed numbers on plan.
I don't,
Yeah,
Do we?
yeah, we
I didn't have
have.
them.
No, we haven't,
I
right?
don't think I had them on mine.
Yeah.
I don't recall that happening here.
We have
but-
on prior subdivisions.
We have?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Here's
yeah,
one of
I
the
remember
things.
that.
It would make sense.
We did it on Hillside and
Honey Hill?
Honey Hill, yes.
Oh,
Thank you.
done it.
Okay, thanks, Andy.
You're welcome.
So Wayne, come on back on there. What do we want to do? What we do, we need to let,
Yeah, I mean, I think we can put tentative, or at least if that's what we've done in the past and are still looking to do, then I just don't want to have them be held to those numbers that they put on the plan and then have to go back if there was a, some site condition that needed to change the number of the building. So,
but if it changes the number of the building, it would change the plan anyway. Right?
right, that's what I'm saying. I think that's what we want to avoid in this case, is not have to make them come back for planning board approval if just the address of the house changed.
I think what you're saying is the reason that the address changed would change the plan.
Right.
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 So
Yeah.
the plan would be changed regardless if the number was there or not.
Right.
The
Okay.
driveway, yep.
Well,
I guess Wayne's good with that.
which way we got to tell Andy something? Which way we want to go? Wayne, is it a big deal? Obviously, it's not a big deal for us. We didn't even know we did it.
So without what we've experienced in the past is without the addresses assigned, when they go for permits, and especially when they go to the state fire marshal's office for the sprinkler permits, they're using lot numbers, which is in the correct address, and it's problematic at that point. It's not insurmountable, but that's problematic at that point.
Were we assigning them once we did a building permit
Generally,
prior?
that's what
Because I think
happens.
that's what I
Someone
went
applies for a
through,
building
was
permit.
every building permit, and then you assigned it.
That's right.
I did in Poland.
But they understand it, like for the other subdivisions on Cape Road, those numbers were already assigned. Yes, you did a driveway entrance permit, and that triggered the official assignment of the E911 address, and it ended up being the same address number as what was on the plan.
Well, are these going to be built prior to people purchasing them, or are they going to be built as they're, is it I'm going to buy lot 10 and build a house on it. I'm going to pick the house design. I'm going to pick where I want the driveway to go. Or is it, this is the house that's going on lot 10. This is where we intend to put it. I mean, or, there could be, somebody could purchase a lot and decide not to build on it for 5 years. And then what if we go through and do some sort of readdressing and I don't know. If they're for sure getting built and, whether or not there's somebody, planning to build on it right away or not,
Well,
that-
and especially now with ADUs, if somebody's going to be able to put an ADU in here, then that creates another number. So which side of the house does that ADU end up on? Could factor into it too.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, because otherwise then you're doing A and B, or you're trying to label it another way.
I mean, you're gonna have to get a driveway permit to build, right? And at that point, you could do an address, assign it. At that point, you're gonna need that before you go to the state for your sprinkler permit. I
I can
don't
go
know.
either way on it.
I don't know.
I think what I've
Putting an
seen,
address on an
where I've
empty
run
lot
into this
feels
most
weird.
commonly is like in subdivisions that have, like, it wouldn't be in this case, but where there's like an intersection and like there's a corner lot that could have access on either side. And I know that's, I run that into the past before, where the intention is for them to have a driveway here, but owner buys a lot and they want to do something a little bit different, and then they have to kind of go through the whole process. So I don't know if you've seen that in your
Yeah.
experience too, Andy.
Yeah,
as well,
a lot.
so,
Yep.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, worst case scenario, if we assign the numbers tentatively, get the chief to look at them and assign some tentative numbers that we can have listed out, and with the understanding that that the actual number will get assigned when a driveway entrance permit is taken out. So we have some base numbers to start with. You know, the chief's already looked at it, because an address gets created for every 50 feet of road length. So, you know, we're not talking about a lot of number differences in that space in most lots. So,
Well, it would seem to me, if we've done it and required it in the past, we should keep on requiring it. That's just, I mean, but.
Agreed.
It wasn't a point, it's never been a point of discussion until.
Agreed.
Sorry.
So- No, that's okay. All right, so we're on the numbers.
Okay. I will add a note on there that says that they're clearly tentative and maybe that they're subject to change based on, you know, construction restraints, and the final decision will be made by code enforcement during the building.
Yeah.
permit phase.
E911.
That would be
Something like
fine.
then,
Yeah,
Yep.
that'll give us a good starting point.
All right.
yep.
Okay, any others on the Pine Ridge? I don't see any reason why we can't move for preliminary approval. Does anyone think that we need more? Okay, could I get a motion then for such a thing? Pine Ridge.
I motion to approve Pine Ridge Road subdivision for preliminary approval.
Okay, motion to, for approval, for preliminary approval for Pine Ridge Estates. Is there a second?
Second.
Steve, second. Any other discussion?
Do we need to put conditions in there about the name or the numbers or anything?
No, not in the preliminary, only if it was the final.
Okay.
Right, anything else? All those in favor? Kevin?
Aye.
All right, done. See you in a month or two, Andy.
Thank you very much.
Staff communications and updates.
I think we only have 2, is it for next month? 2 applications before the board.
Is it the one we've already working on?
There's,
Source?
nope, there's the, Sandy, there's the solar one
Yes.
for an amendment, and then there's
Amendment
the,
to a site plan approval, which was a staff review approval.
right. And then for the Jordan Bay, Port Harbor, for
Port
their,
Harbor for an amendment to their approved site plan.
yep.
So 2 amendments for next week, for next month?
2 amendments, yes. And your speaker, Mr. Malik, and possibly your executive session if we can't get something worked out for a special executive session.
Correct.
Is that where we do have a special session if possible, outside of the regular meeting, or
Oh, yeah, I want to do that as soon as possible.
as soon as possible?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the discussion originally. That's why I'm just clarifying.
Yeah.
So what are your guys' availability like?
I'm away next week.
You're away next week?
Yeah.
I'm available, pretty much. I can make myself available.
I'm available next week.
Well, how about the week after?
Yep.
Week after?
Yep.
Available most of the time.
All right, I
So,
will. shoot for
not
the
next week, Sandy, the week
next with
after.
Phil.
See if you can track Phil down one of those days.
I will do that.
We need to
That'll be
schedule
my project for tomorrow.
Last week in August, yeah.
Yeah.
Pine Ridge.
Oh, yeah, we do. We'll do that, we'll do it. Hey, Sandy, just we need to do that public hearing for the Pine Ridge when,
Yes, when he comes
when he
back.
comes back.
Absolutely.
okay. What else?
We didn't want to talk about the
Oh,
off-street parking and banquet hall kind of stuff.
good. Yes, Sandy, Jackie, we do. We want to talk about that banquet hall. Thank you. Good day to do it, too. You know, I'm a little,
It's the one with the Sebago on the front of it. Do you have that?
I'm,
Is it more related to the short term? Do we want to wait?
no, I'm just concerned that we did not put it on the agenda. I know there's some community members that are interested in it.
Okay.
It would be a perfect day to do it, time-wise, but I'm a little hesitant in that we didn't.
Yeah.
We're not making any decisions. Would not have to open it up to public. So, yeah, I think we could do it. I think we can move forward. Well, and we'll put it on for discussion for next meeting. Yeah, we can go forward.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. It should be pretty,
It'll be a workshop.
yeah. What do you think, Peter? I think we could do it, right? All right. So we have the definition of the public hall, which I think we all agreed upon, if I'm not mistaken, when we asked Brett to write it. And now we have where we're going to consider it to be, where we're going to allow the banquet hall usage in what districts. Well, I do the easy ones first, like the commercial district, the industrial district.
Yep.
Those are pretty easy.
Yep.
Village, say yes, yes. Upper Village residential district should be pretty easy. Yeah, or maybe not.
Well, there's 3 options too.
Yeah, permitted,
Darn it.
permitted or conditional. What does conditional typically entail versus permitted?
My understanding is go in front of the ZBA. Yeah.
Yeah, typically that's part of the process. Usually they have to meet a certain amount of standards, like extra standards that would be outlined in the ordinance, kind of similar to what we have in our current ordinance.
Okay.
Maybe a site plan review.
Yep, yeah, I mean, in theory, you know, if there was a banquet hall use that was permitted within the commercial district, they could just apply administratively through Jason for like the building permit piece of it. If it was a conditional use, it would have to go before the board and have a public hearing and notify the abutters and allow them the chance to speak, and then prohibited is straightforward, just not allowed outright.
Would that be required for each event, or just to hold it?
Yeah, I think this is where the discussion is pretty valuable around this in terms of how the board wanted to frame this. If they wanted to have a public hearing for each and every single event, or if it would be conditional for a year and they would have to renew it yearly. I know, the horn's going off.
Who knows?
Is it red car?
Can you tell what vehicle it is? Stop.
Not stopped.
Somebody's out there.
They're just communicating with each other.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I know, like for like wedding venues, it's pretty typical that conditions would be placed on their approval, like no music after 10 p.m. You know, they would go through, depending on the size, their septic, you know, they'd be limited to occupancy, those kind of measures as well.
Where are those conditions laid out?
They aren't in this. I think this is more of the discussion that I think we should talk about which zones we would want them in, and
Right.
if they would be conditional, then talking about the types of conditions
Okay,
that might
so
be
we-
appropriate to place on them. So there's nothing yet,
Yeah,
but
okay.
I think that'd be the next stage. Once we kind of determine which zones
Mhm.
we think that they should be permitted, conditional, prohibited, then we can start formulating some conditions.
And I think those conditions are decided on when you vote, right? I mean, when they present it to get approval, the conditions are
Right.
Yeah.
given at that time to the approval.
Well, if they meet the, right.
If they,
Meet-
yeah.
If they- yeah.
It meets it, and, yeah. My thoughts are if, these things are gonna be in areas where people reside, that, at least conditional should be something we should look at. My thoughts also are more of the rural districts where it's intended to be less developed, quieter, that those should be maybe where we prohibit them. But yeah. I mean, I think about like the village district, like Main Street, right? You have the church down there, and like that's a place where they hold events and people gather. But it's not every day, it's not late at night, there are people that live nearby, and I could see that being disruptive if it was every weekend or.
Well, the rural district and the rural residential district are the most likely places where you're gonna find barns where people may tend to wanna create a banquet hall.
Yeah. Well, it takes up, I would say both of those districts are most of the land in Raymond as well. It takes up a good amount of space.
Mr. Chairman, a comment from the fire department.
Yeah, sure, Wayne.
Just banquet halls, as far as the codes are concerned, is an assembly use. And so, that would trigger some of our, the review by the fire department to meet life safety and fire safety. But also, an assembly use, a new assembly use would require State Fire Marshal Office plan review and approval to just to kind of have that.
As a one-time event or as a continual event? Wayne?
What, I'm sorry?
As a one-time event, it would need state fire marshal? Or would you say state?
For assembly use?
Mm-hmm.
Let me look into that so I can give you a better answer on that.
Okay.
The state fire marshal would be more of a plan review for assembly use for a building. For an example, if there was the mention of barns, one of the reasons that's been stressed to us in fire inspectors meetings is that the fire marshal's office is concerned about wedding venues and barns and making sure that they're safe and that they follow fire and life safety codes. But on a one-time event, I'll have to look into that and get back to you on that.
And how does that apply to, like, I know a lot of camps do weddings, functions and stuff like that. Obviously, they have a bunch of land, but again, they're in old barns, probably don't have all the up-to-code things.
Yeah,
They're pretty inspected, a lot of them. We just did two dining halls this year, and they were well gone over.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's exactly what I thought, resource protection district, stream protection district, that would be easy for prohibited, but there are a lot of camps in that.
And that's the thing, they're
That's used-
spread out everywhere and they're in different zones,
Yeah.
so.
And
Well,
they-
camps are already commercial entities operating in the shoreland zone. They are kind of grandfathered in as commercial
Right.
enterprises. They've already gone through a lot of these plan
So none of this would apply.
inspections like that.
Be grandfathered in
Yeah.
for new construction.
And they've gone through a lot of this already.
Sure.
So a lot of them are exempt anyway, because they're already up to code and you guys already know about everything that's going on in those buildings anyway.
Right. They're already set up for assembly.
Correct.
So who are we attempting this ordinance to regulate? People that want to start doing it?
Backyard weddings, like pop-up
Yeah, I
tents and
think
stuff
so.
like that.
Yes.
A single event, like one wedding in your yard, they'd have to regulate that?
I couldn't imagine that, no.
No, I think if somebody's kid is getting married, they want to have it in their backyard.
Yeah.
And I think one of your questions to Wayne might have been if somebody wants to have like multiple events.
Right.
Does the state fire marshal office have to come in every year and inspect? Or is it they inspect, building is up to code for them, and then it's, a conditional use permit every year? Or per event? I think that's something that can be discussed.
Oh, I thought you had the answer.
Hold on, let me check. It might be back here somewhere.
No, I think it's a one time. That's state fire marshal's a one time.
I think so too.
Sure.
But I'd have to defer.
Yeah. I don't know the answer, so I would think that it's a one time.
Yeah. Facility inspection.
Once the building is up to their specs, yeah.
Yep.
So, at this point, anybody that has like a banquet type hall, are you inspecting them?
I don't know of any banquet halls we have in town.
That meets this definition, like, well, you said you inspected two.
The dining
You're
halls for
okay.
Camp Tamanis and Camp Ojilo. So, yeah, but, they're cafeterias, they're dining halls, but essentially they're, there's a kitchen and there's a large dining area, so I think it falls into that definition.
So if you have a barn, you want to have an event you want to rent that barn out for an event. You're then going to be considered a banquet hall
I mean, if you're
for that event,
you're serving food and alcohol,
serving food and alcohol.
if it walks like a duck,
Right. And so what we're looking at then is an ordinance to say where that individual with that barn can hold that event,
or how they can hold
or
it.
how they can hold it.
Right, under the conditional, like, give guidelines to say this is, if you want to do it, this is kind of where you got to start.
And this is strictly for profit, like it doesn't apply to a backyard wedding or something? That would be.
I think that's the
Yeah, I mean, I think there's the matter of frequency and the amount that it's actually
Correct.
happening kind of thing. And to back up a little bit, this was one of the concerns that was raised during the short-term rental discussions, where they were concerned about, that banquet hall type use. And within our draft short-term rental ordinance, we specifically exclude banquet halls from, that definition of a short-term rental. And if we exclude that, we still need to have a definition for what a banquet hall is, which is where this definition came from.
So if we did something that, if we made them all conditional,
That's exactly what I was,
and just,
all conditional.
right, all conditional,
Yeah, absolutely. That would make the most sense.
and then we just need some set of conditions.
except for maybe commercial. I don't know anyone wants a wedding in an industrial zone, but
Yeah.
Do we have any industrial zone?
we do. Saber yachts.
Yeah.
A couple of small, the tower,
So like 20 acres.
maybe a little more.
So we make them all conditional. Now, an individual at the barn comes in and wants to hold an event. What do we tell them?
So I guess this is where, I could do a little bit more research too and have this ready to present for next time. But some common ones that I've seen often are like timing restrictions for music.
Right.
Like all music must be shut off by 10 o'clock at night kind of thing.
Probably some parking.
Parking standards
Sure.
is another significant one.
Frequency of use.
And I think this is up to the board's discretion in terms of how often do they want to see these kind of applications. If it's similar to the fire marshal, do you guys want to just see these as a one-time application before the board? Or would it merit similar to the short-term rental? If there's a certain threshold of complaints that are received, it warrants a public hearing for you guys, and, you or maybe the select board would, get to revoke their business license. I think that'd be more the select board kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I
If pass it to the select board, that would be excellent.
Well, and
Yeah.
the other part we have to think about is, does this have to be fully contained in structures, or, are there going to be stuff out on the
Okay.
lawn?
Mhm.
And that'll be in the conditions, I think, determine, a set of standards that, need to be hit, but you kind of can and can't do.
I think there'd have to be some sort of a threshold to size wise of how, like, what
Setbacks.
constitutes
Mhm.
an assembly, you know, is it 50 people? Is it 100 people? Is it, you know, I mean,
Every town is different. I've seen some as high as 500.
yeah, like mass gathering stuff
Right.
is like huge, like
Right.
huge numbers. Like we would never see those type of numbers at a, you know, one of these. But I think it warrants kind of how big is too big or how big is,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, or what triggers it? What size
Yeah.
triggers?
what's the
The
difference
banquet hall,
between
right.
having friends over and,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're talking more about for someone charging. You know,
Right.
not to just have
Yes.
friends over for a party. I think this is more for, you know, opening up and having.
Yeah, but then you're gonna get, we're not charging, we just take a donation.
Just a possible answer to Jackie's question, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
She was asking about what constitutes an assembly, at least in the fire and life safety codes. Actually, the assembly use can go down to less than 50 people. But when you get to that 50-person threshold, you have to have 2 exits, as an example.
There's everything in that fire and safety.
And I was thinking of more.
I must think like
All the
They're always
time.
thinking of more.
There's everything in there.
They think about things to change about
Yeah.
them.
All right, so what, we want to do everything conditional and then ask Brett and Jason to come up with a set of conditions for us to discuss?
Uh,
Does that sound good at the next meeting?
Yep.
That sound good? Check, yep. Kevin?
Good for me. Good.
Yes.
What's a workshop? Can you accept like official comment from the ZBA?
For this?
Yeah.
Yeah, sir, for the, yeah. Official comments from you are always welcome. I was getting ready to send everything to you, actually.
Well, and that's fine. So David March, CBA Chair. I would recommend, like, if you go through the ordinances, it lists out by zone what's a permitted use,
Right.
then what's a conditional use, and what's well, anything else is prohibited. But it tells you specifically, like, one of them's like a small store or a funeral home. And then it also lists out the conditions, which are, they're not specific to a certain type, they're just specific, they're just in general for a conditional use. So I think there may be some benefit just to get for maybe your next workshop or next meeting an outline of what's permitted and what's conditional, and then specifically what, if it's conditional, what the criteria it needs to meet. And then you can maybe see how banquet hall best fits into that. Because I hear what you're saying, but when you're talking about conditional with all these special conditions for banquet halls, that's outside the scope of what we currently see in the ordinances. It's a
Right.
conditional use with a specific set of 7 or 10 criteria.
So are you saying what it should have is like, to start off with, is what constitutes a conditional use as far as what's not prohibited, as opposed what is prohibited?
Or whether, even if it's just allowed. I think there can be some benefit to say, to look at the ordinance and says, okay, I see in the rural district, it's allowed to have a funeral home, it's allowed to have a convenience store, or potentially, it's a conditional use to have a convenience store, a conditional use to have a funeral home, so that you have some sort of measure to see how does this, a banquet hall, measure up to what's currently allowed or
Oh, I see what you're
currently
saying.
conditioned. And then with that, what are the conditions that go with it? Because, you know, if we see portable restrooms, one of the conditions is everything, it needs to be confined within the building itself. So a portable restroom, that's outside the building. So, you know, we as the ZBA would have to look at this and say, you know, you can't have portable restrooms. That couldn't be a part of the condition. So just a suggestion anyways, as, because.
No, that's a good suggestion.
Yeah, just to be.
It makes your job easier.
Different.
we don't have to
It was
reinvent
good.
the wheel, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I'd imagine it'd be similar to our other performance standards for like solar, where there's specific standards that are only applicable to solar. So I think that'd be another appropriate place to kind of place those specific standards in there as well, too, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else you got, Jackie?
I think that was it.
So we've got the banquet hall. Hopefully we'll get the short-term rental and marijuana done next meeting,
Let's do it.
if all goes well. And I think that's it, right? Anything else?
So you want no public comment on this, and you're gonna wait another month and a half so we can comment on what you come up with? You don't want to take any of this public comment going into your executive session,
That's correct.
based on what you published?
That's correct. It's already been tabled.
I understand, but I think that's a mistake, because we'll hear no comment on it.
You are entitled to think that. Any other, anything else?
Good.
Looking for one more motion.
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Kevin?
Aye.
Todd?